Welcome to Inspired by Design, the podcast where we explore the tools, stories, and insights to help you rediscover your authentic self and navigate life with less resistance. I'm Katie Rupert, a former hustle and grind overachiever on a thrilling and messy journey. I'd love to share what I'm learning and help others in self-discovery using human design. So, if you're seeking a way to move forward, let me be your weekly mindset coach and share stories to inspire you to action towards your unique purpose without the force or burnout.
It's been a really emotional week for me, and it's not been overly dramatic or upsetting. Nothing's really happened, but I just have been in my feels, and I know that I'm not alone. I have noticed that my workplace, with the people that I do life with, friends, and even just acquaintances, I've run into so many people that have the same stirring, or I don't know, we can call it Mercury retrograde because astrology says this is what's happening right now, but it's kind of just lifing. And one of the things that I've been noticing about conversations that I'm having this week are people questioning themselves, people reflecting or turning inward on things that they may judge are wrong with them, things that are rubbing them or making them feel like they're not enough. Things happening unexpectedly, things hitting them in ways they didn't think would impact quite as much. And the thing that I just wanted to stop and say is nothing's gone wrong here. It is not a bad thing to be introspective, to reflect, to review, or to go inward and just notice, become an observer. This year, I have been through the most change I've ever been through. It's been disorienting at times. It's been clarifying. It's been showing me who I am, and the lessons that I've learned are, I can't even capture all of them. I try. I write in my journal, and I set intentions, and I take time out to consider, why am I feeling this way? Why are these thoughts coming up? Why am I cycling back to these old ways of thinking when I've decided this isn't what I believe anymore? Hopefully you're like many of us and you kind of relate, you get it. Maybe 2025 has been a really rough year for you too. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do these interviews of all of the tools and the modalities and the things that I lean on when life is lifing and it just feels like too much. And yes, I lead with, let's regulate our nervous systems. Let's make little changes without blowing up our lives. But what happens when your life is blown up? When you lose a job, you lose a relationship, you don't understand what you're here for. And things get hard when shame or blame or the feelings of failure drop in and they just feel heavier than you can hold. Sometimes this happens. Tonight, I had a friend of mine send me some song lyrics that he's working on. He wrote a song, and he sent it to me to listen to. And I feel so special when I get to be one of the first to hear his music. Brilliant mind. His name's Andrew. And I just want to pull out a couple of these lyrics, these lines that came to him this week in this like emotionally charged week, right? And I just feel like so many of us can relate, but the one that there were a couple of lines in here that really stood out to me that like captured my heart and attention. And I want to see if they will do the same for you. So he wrote, "A glass half full is never empty. A glass half empty is never full." And then a little bit later, he writes, "We fight to stay, and then we fight to let it go." Mm. And the song's about having these emotions running through and just asking, like, are you going to pull me out? Or are you going to hold me under? And, I'd love to have him talk about what the song means to him. But to me, it's just, as humans, we have these things in common. The depth and the hurt and the pain is there, but it shows us that we can have that other side of it too. And that it's not this or that. It's an ocean of all of the things. And that's what makes up life. And that's what makes a rich experience. The older I get, the more I really just believe first of all, I don't know much. The more I know I don't know. Right. I know others feel that way, or if you haven't gotten there, keep learning, because that's what you'll learn. Is like, I really realize that I have so much I don't know. And yet, as I get older, I just think more and more that this life is meant to just be experienced. And with all of the change that I've been going through, the season that I'm in right now is one of learning how to choose myself and learn how to do that with abandon. I want to serve people. I want to help people. I will always be the person that gives my life in service to others. But I now understand that one of the key ways that I do that as a 5-2 manifesting generator, and just as Katie, me, one of the ways that I can do that is by making sure that my self-care isn't phoned in, that me taking care of me is how I'm taking care of other people. If I show up as a full, whole person that's doing her work and not trying to be perfect, but I'm facing the things as they come, then I'm showing up as a person who's ready to meet you and hold space for you. So taking care of myself and me being priority is one thing that I never tried. But what I didn't realize before is that sacrificing me to help other people is a lie. If I don't show up as a whole person to help someone else, in the end, that is not helping anyone. It from a place of lack, I cannot support someone to get anything. It's false. Another thing that I'm doing this season of my life is choosing fun and freedom and becoming who I'm meant to be and stepping in fully to whatever this is. It is full on surrender, because trust that, like, I'm not ruining my life by just saying, I'm going to follow my gut. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to choose to find joy and have fun and connect with people and be free. And if it doesn't feel right, I'm going to say it's a no for now. And saying no to opportunities and making things like doing things that don't seem to make sense to old Katie or old ways. I'm just committed to trying some new stuff and figuring out what's for me and what's not for me. And sometimes figuring out what's not for me is not done by the mind. It's done through giving it a go and seeing how it feels, trying it on. I'm not going to know until I give it a go. Not going to know until I give it a go. So, gosh, I had a conversation today and I felt the weight of expectation on me. And of course it came from that person's perspective, right? And then it challenged me. I'm in a place where I'm committed to grow and thrive and not hold back. And sometimes, and it's just messy. And it's not going to be the way other people are. I'm a unique bird. And I guess I wanted to share all that because I know I'm not alone. I know that even if you haven't admitted it, even if you have an opposite way of making your living and doing your life than I do, even if our circumstances are not the same at all, I know that on a human level, we're experiencing some of these things. As a collective, it's an emotional week. If you're not feeling a sense of, oh no, is something going wrong? Just wait, it's probably coming today. But if you're not, maybe it's time to, have that wake up call and stop being distracted by all of the things you have to do in your circumstances. And maybe instead of saying, oh, stuff is going wrong, maybe it's, hey, stuff is happening and I'm still me. How can I maintain who I am and show up as the person that I want to be, even when the circumstances are hard, even when the circumstances aren't what I want them to be, even when I'm out of control completely. One of the things, what I was saying about having these interviews, these tools that I use, they may or may not be for you, but there are things that are going to be helpful to you. One of the big things for me this week even has just been leaning into music. I found a few songs that just like speak to my heart. And even if it's not the exact same circumstance and they're singing about something different, if I find a song that makes me feel, I have learned that listening to that song and allowing myself to feel those things is really important. And if I have an idea or a shower thought, journaling is a big deal for me too. Just even if it doesn't make sense, that taking a page and just writing whatever comes to mind, even if they're not sentences, that free writing is really therapeutic for me as well. Meditation, even praying. I've talked a lot about deconstruction in my story, moving away from the faith of my childhood. And then now I'm going back and reconstructing what is it that I actually believe. Like I had to kind of toss it all away for a minute so I could recommit in a way that felt whole and like my choice, but I still have, I don't know if I'd call it confusion, but I still have things that are unanswered that are going to remain a mystery. And yet I still have a God to pray to. I have a higher self. I have a team of loved ones that want to support me. And so I talk to them. And it's therapeutic. It's good. Also therapy. Also talking to people. The last thing I wanted to bring up today is that yoga has been on my mind and heart. And gosh, I know when I say yoga, half of you are like, I can't do yoga. I'm not flexible. Like, listen, I'm not talking about the exercise. I'm not talking about a yoga class that's going to get you into shape or whatever. Yoga is split up into 8, they call them limbs. So if you think about a tree, 8 limbs of yoga. They're simple invitations, touch points, ways to stay human and tethered to who you are and why you're here when everything feels all wobbly and messy. And if you're not familiar with them, I'm not going to go real deep into them, but maybe hearing them would inspire you to follow one of those crumbs to learn or to anchor into something. Another thing this week I was reminded of, I wear a lot of jewelry that I aesthetically, I think it's lovely and beautiful, and it's me. Like it's just like part of my how I want to show up. Like I have these beautiful little moon earrings my friend Sarah got me. I have these bracelets that I wear. I have these Buddha bracelets that were a gift to me. And sometimes an anchor is just an intention. I have a friend named Trisha who makes jewelry, and she connects to your higher self when she's talking to you. She asks, like, what is it that you right now from your higher self need support with? And then she has a conversation with your higher self through spirit and will identify a few themes, or sometimes get the names of different stones. And then she makes jewelry with those crystals or stones to give you an intention from your higher self, like you're moving in this direction. And so I got to witness her creating one of these bracelets, and the person that she channeled, the higher self of this person, had picked a few stones, one that symbolized courage, one that was support for love and kindness towards yourself, and one to get rid of the feelings of I'm not good enough. So it was all about love and kindness towards self and not taking the projected impact of other people. And I just thought this was such a beautiful and neat idea. I didn't intend to talk about her service, but if that sounds like something, like if you're in a place and you think that having an intentional piece of jewelry that is channeled from your higher self would be supportive, I don't know if I have a link, but I will put her contact information in the show notes, and I would highly recommend connecting with her and doing that for you. You can also do it yourself, right? Like you can take a stone, a key, a toy, stuffed animal, anything that you put on and say, like, this is going to mean this today, and I'm setting the intention. And so back to the limbs of yoga. All right, we've got 8 limbs of yoga. I'm going to read them and give you just a little synopsis. So if one catches your attention, this would be a really good thing to submit a question for the podcast on. I know I usually ask for human design questions, which please still send those in. But on that Google form, it's just like, what is your question? If you have questions about any of the 8 of these, if anyone's interested in them, I could pull those out into future and talk more about them. I did spend 500 hours getting yoga certified. So I would love to share that information if you're curious about it. So the first one's yama, the second one's niyama. And it's yama is how you move through the world. Niyama is how you tend to your inner world. So through like big picture and then inner picture, right? Inner world. And these, to me, they remind me a lot of Proverbs, just good moral codes, if you will. Am I forcing? Am I harming? Am I overspending? Am I overgiving? So these kinds of principles, one of them is not doing harm or violence. So this would be like working gently with the self-critic, right? Because violence to yourself would be being mean to yourself. So things like this, all right? Niyamas are more about caring for your spirit, caring for your body, making sure you're not overextending yourself and you're taking care, like kind of like what I started this conversation with. Me taking care of myself is partly how I take care of others. Part of that might be just what like Leslie and I talked about on the podcast that came out last week. Having a ritual, like before she goes to bed each night, she does a meditation and she pulls a card. For me, I typically will journal. How did I feel today? Where did I push past what I had to give? How did my nervous system feel when I was in that conversation with someone? And the third one is asana. This is being in your body. So asana is what we think of when we think of yoga. You go to a yoga class, you have postures. This is asana. And really it could be sitting comfortably. It could be stretching. It could be walking when you've been sitting a long time. It could be standing when you've been laying a long time. It could be getting out of the house, like just one breath, one pause, one stretch, and just say, I am in my body. I am moving my legs. I am wiggling my toes. This is asana. And it's mindfulness of your body, this vessel that's here to support you. And we want to take care of it. The fourth one is pranayama, and that is breath. That's life force. That's everything. All you have to do is inhale and exhale. And in my yoga classes, inhale all the good energy, inhale your intention, your clarity. What is it that you want? Exhale everything that's not serving you. Exhale the pressure, exhale the expectations. Number 5, pratyahara. This is quieting the noise. This is taking a moment to step away, get outside, give yourself a minute. All right. You need to take your minutes. Say, okay, I've been scrolling, throw the phone on somewhere soft so it doesn't break. And just let the outside opinions fall and be with yourself for a moment. Number 6 is dharana, and this is letting your mind rest on one thing. This is focus. This is like when you're you see the movie and like the main character is like in a stadium, a crowd that's going wild and loud, and then like everything zones in and quiets. You can still hear it, but you're focused on something else. And one of the things that I love to try this on is like a candle flame meditation. So you can light a candle. It could be even a fake candle, and just let the kids scream, let the TV be on. You don't need to change your circumstances. It's you practicing focus and concentration, even in the midst of the mess. Okay. I'm looking at this flame, and then things start to soften around. You learn how to focus and concentrate, even if the circumstance can't change. Now, number 7 is dhyana, and this is dropping into presence, being here now, right here, right now. So there's concentration, there's meditation. So meditation, this would be the equivalent of this dhyana. And it's like, you aren't going to be able to stop your thoughts. Our thoughts will come with or without us. But you can practice noticing when that thought drifts from your intention. And when it starts to drift, you bring it back. And if you have to bring it back 70 times in a minute, so be it. That is the practice. And instead of playing all these mind games and saying something's gone wrong, like I was talking about the top of the episode, man, that's what I notice people do when things feel off. They're like, oh, what's wrong with me? No, this is an opportunity for you to start coming back to yourself, coming back to the moment. Like, I can be here now. There is no past. There is no future. All that we have is now. And right now, I choose kindness. Right now, I choose love towards myself. Right now, I choose not to be angry. Right now, I choose to connect to the people who are with me because that's meant to be. Dropping into presence. And then the last one is samadhi, and that's a taste of peace. Not perfection. Overall, it means enlightenment, like I'm done with life. I've evolved, I've gotten there. But we can experience samadhi every time we have a taste of peace. When we do some of these practices, when we try new things and they don't work, but then we don't judge ourselves that they didn't work. It's not about not working. It's about us doing it. It's about us practicing. It's about us showing up to our life and not phoning it in. And it's not making it a mediocre life. We're in it. We're in it to feel. And whether it's bad or good, what if we throw those out and we just show up? And for this moment, we find peace, not perfection, just small little pockets of time when you just feel like, yes, this is me. This is who I am. I'm showing up and I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And it's good because I am. Just I am. We were created. We are here. And I believe it's for a reason. So I hope that's helpful. As I wrap up, I just want to encourage you to choose one of these that stood out and play with it this week. If anything stuck out to you that inspired you to be like, maybe I want to listen to that again, or maybe I want to dig into that. Like, let yourself dig into it and remind yourself over and over and over, like, I can't do this wrong. If I show up, if I learn something, if I take action on something and I find out that it's not my way, then that is still good data to have. And I think, I don't know, I just like Andrew's lyrics really caught my attention tonight. And this song is beautiful. Like the whole thing is really beautiful. I'll ask if he's okay with me sending all of the lyrics in the show notes. You could read them. Maybe that could be your concentration for the week. You just read that and see how you relate. And then of course, go over to our Facebook page or the Instagram and just share. I'm sure he'll see those comments. A glass half full is never empty. A glass half empty is never full. We fight to stay. We fight to let it go. I could talk all day on what that means to me, but I think I'm going to leave it at that. I have a few more interviews that are scheduled, so tune in to continue to learn new tools, things that might inspire you to keep taking care of yourself, keep going inward, keep doing your work, because not only is it that you matter, but like this is what matters. You being you, you becoming you, and it's not even you becoming you. Let me rephrase that. You remembering you taking all of the things that you've piled on to hide your true self, you start to unwind those, because that's who people need, is you, authentic you. And that's what I'm committed to showing up as. And I invite you to come with me. Right, that's all I have for you tonight. I love you. Thank you for listening. You're amazing. And I appreciate you. I had tonight a couple people tell me that they listened to my podcast, and I cried all the way home because I feel seen, and that's what we all need. And so God help me. I hope you feel seen today. All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Inspired by Design with Katie Rupert. If today's episode sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your takeaways, subscribe, or even leave a review to help others find the show. For more tools and insights, visit my free Facebook group. And until next time, keep embracing exactly who you are and move forward one inspired action at a time.